Hey guys, Booligan here with Booligan Shooting Sports. Today, introducing you to the latest really awesome, terrible, and very weird gun to enter my firearm collection, and one that I will be using to design some 3D printable parts for that are going to have a target market of like 5 people. Not going to be a lot of us. Anyways, this is the Calico M100. It is a product of the 1980s, and it very much looks like a product of the 1980s. It is an absolutely bizarre rifle, which we'll get to the shoulder stock in a little bit. And the thing is just crazy. Calico Firearms made a couple of different models, but the predominant ones are the M100 and the M900. The M100, which is this guy, is chambered in .22 long rifle. The M900 and some of the other variants is chambered in 9mm. And they're really known for their top feed helical magazines. We'll take a look at that first before we get into the rest of this weird gun. So this guy has the semi-transparent shell, so you can sort of see this coil that goes through. That's how the rounds are fed in the magazine. It's similar to the Bison and very few other ones. I think North Korea has an AK that's chambered or that uses helical magazines. The idea being the rounds are loaded in a spiral, and this one in particular holds 100 rounds. How you load it is you put a little bit of tension on it using this winding wheel, and then you start loading the rounds. Load, 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 load. And then you release the tension, and then you wind it 15 times or 12. I'll have to double check the manual. Pretty sure it's 15 times. You wind it 15 times. No more, no less. If you wind it more than that, it has a little bit of buffer room, but if you wind it too much, you'll break the spring. If you don't wind it enough, you won't feed properly. This is a design that obviously did not take off very well because why? It's not terribly complicated, or it's not terribly reliable. It's just a weird design. On to the rest of the gun, the M100. These were available as both this rifle version as well as a pistol version. But today, obviously, we're looking at the rifle version. It's a simple design. It's a simple blowback mechanism. It has a side charging handle, and it just feeds from the top, ejects out the side. Nothing too crazy. You do have an ambidextrous safety, which is kind of a nice feature for a gun made in 1985. It's mostly made out of just metal, aluminum, Zamic, pot metal, I believe. I have no idea. I'm not exactly a metallurgist. Certainly not steel. There are some steel components on it, including the shoulder stock, the barrel, obviously. You have the polymer grip and the polymer fore end, which is sort of like a skinny version of an M16 handguard. It's not split though, which makes taking it off a little bit of a pain in the butt. And you have storage in the grip for tactical skittles. I don't know, whatever you want to put in there. Let's start at the back to look at some of the weird details. You notice this guy here and think, well, there's no, it's obviously like a weird pistol. It's not. This is a shoulder stock, and it comes out and unfolds into this ridiculous erector set looking thing. And this one has a little bit of surface rust on it. I haven't cleaned this up really at all. It's sort of just a time capsule of how I got it. I have long arms, so the length of pull on this isn't too bad for me. You don't have the very comfortable cheek weld at all. It's a weird angle. The whole thing is just kind of at a weird angle. And luckily this is a 22. You're not using it to manage a lot of recoil. But the fact remains, this is not a very comfortable setup. The pistol versions forego this completely and have the same receiver. It just doesn't have this stock mechanism on it. And you can fold it back up, collapse it slightly, I can, there you go. And then the whole thing just kind of goes in and folds in place. And there's this little pin here that keeps it from doing anything too crazy. You have a sling mount on the side as well as a sling mount up front. Up front, as I mentioned, you have a sort of M16 style handguard that's very small, and you can, like, I mean, Chris Costa would be proud. You can really easily C-clamp this. You have a one-piece front sight and muzzle brake, and it actually is, or a compensator muzzle brake, whatever you want to call it. It actually is open up top, so it theoretically should function. And this front sight looks like a backwards M16 sight as well, but it is actually click adjustable for elevation with no tools. The rear sight is also click adjustable with no tools. Both of these were really nice features to have in 1985. So they sort of wanted this thing to be just a super, super high-tech gun full of features, and it ended up just being kind of ridiculous. And that's one of the reasons why I love it. Up here, this little loop here is for the optional bipod, which you can get, which clamps on. Some of the other accessories that they used to make and that they actually still make for these. Fun fact, Calico is still in business, theoretically still making guns and still making and selling accessories and parts. They make a holster for this, like a drop leg holster, both for the pistol and the rifle version. And that just brings me so much joy. It's like $30. I may have to buy one just for the memes, because why not? The overall function of this guy is, it's nothing too crazy. Operating on a empty magazine, you just simply pull that back to charge it, and then you fire. It actually has a very nice trigger pull. It's just a little bit of take up, pretty light. The reset on it, very tactile. So you could ride the reset on this, provided, we talk about riding the reset so you can get a good rate of fire, semi-automatic out of this. But the thing to keep in mind is this is a blowback operated 22, which are questionably reliable if they're not a Ruger. And this funky magazine, which are not exactly known for their world-renowned reliability. So I'm getting this thing out to the range this weekend, and we'll see what it does. We'll have a separate range video with this and a bunch of other projects coming up on the channel here in the coming days and weeks. But I just kind of wanted to show you guys this thing and kind of go over some of its funky design features. And I guess the important question now is, what is your best Calico moment? Do you know this gun from Spaceballs or from one of the other dozen or so sci-fi movies that it was featured in? Put in the comments where you know this thing from. And yeah, we'll get it out to the range. We'll do some reliability testing with this magazine and the whole setup. I'm going to clean it up first and get it well lubricated so that hopefully we eliminate as many variables as possible that might cause it to not fire particularly well. But yeah, we'll see how it does at the range. So many thanks to all of you guys for watching and for engaging. Rewinding a little bit before I do my little closing speech there. I mentioned I want to design some parts for this to 3D print. I want to solve this stock because, like I said, this stock is kind of terrible, and I want to design a stock that will replace it with something that's just a little bit more comfortable and maybe something a little bit more modern looking. So I've got ideas in mind for that. They make optic rails for these that kind of attach here and kind of piggyback on top, but they're pretty expensive, and I don't want to spend much money on this because I've already sunk enough money into this dumb thing. But I might make a forward mount, like a Scout type mount that clamps in here, because this is, pretty consistently sized, clamps in here, and it's almost like a gooseneck mount that you can put like a red dot or something on to co-witness with the sights. I might do that. I've got some ideas sketched out for that. I wouldn't mind doing a different handguard, maybe something closer to the M900 series, which has a bigger, kind of beefier handguard. I really like the M900. I would love to get an M900. I just don't know if I want to justify spending almost $1,000 on one. But it is a top feed 100 round or 50 or 100 round 9mm roller delayed blowback. Super weird thing. So I might just have to get one anyways, because you don't come across that too often. So yeah, so that's some of the plans for this, is just to develop some interesting parts. And get some designs out there, so all of the dozens of us that have calicos and like 3D printing can trick out our guns. So again, many thanks to all you guys for your support, and stay tuned for a day at the range with this and several other guns in the next couple of days. Thanks for watching.